Hello students, welcome to Sankalp class. Today we are going to discuss another interesting chapter, the making of global world. Only the point from 1.1 to 1.3 is required for the purpose of CBSE board examination. So let's move to the topic. How was the world connected in the pre-modern times? Dear student, when one country interconnected with the rest of the world means other countries, that process is called globalization. So in the pre-modern times, the movement of people, goods and services across the nation has been termed as the globalization. So in that particular time period, people moved or migrated from one place to another place in search of different new routes, in search of priests, in search of pilgrimage, or different purpose of trade, different purpose to spread the religion, or in order to source the employment opportunities. So उस टाइम पे क्या होता था, दे कैरिड गुड्स, मनी, वैल्यूज, स्किल, आइडिया, इन्वेंशन, ये सब लेके जाते थे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे इंडिया ने क्या दिया है वर्ल्ड को, जीरो का डिस्कवरी क्या है, मीन्स दैट इज़ द पार्ट ऑफ योर डिस्कवर ऑफ जीरो बाय आर्यभट्ट. उसके अलावा हम देख सकते हैं चरक, संहिता, ये सब जो आया है, ये सब दुनिया को देने का जो चीज़ है, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो कॉल्ड ए पार्ट ऑफ द ग्लोबलाइजेशन इन द प्री मॉडर्न टाइम्स. We all know about the Indus Valley civilization that is dated from 3000 before Common Era or before Christ era, that reflect the active coastal trade. So during the Indus Valley civilization, we learned about the active trade link in the Western Asia. So during the pre-modern time, if you thought about the cowries, that is used as a form of currency in India. In the later time period, we found this cowrie in the China and also in the area of the East Africa. That means it indicates that there is a proper trade linkage exists during that particular time. So in the early time period, they used the Silk Route. So Silk Route as important or vibrant in the pre-modern era because it is a symbol of trade and culture link between the various distant parts of the world. So this Silk Route is a properly connection between China, India and East Africa. So during this particular time period, the Chinese pottery, Indian textile and spices traveled to Europe, while in return we got the silver and gold from the Europe to Asia. So that means Chinese pottery, Indian textiles and spices of the world class market in Europe. और उस टाइम पे हम क्या लाते थे यूरोप से, we bring silver and gold. So that particular trade and culture played an important role. How? Like the Buddhism. So Buddhism spread from the Pataliputra से शुरू हुआ Buddhism का spread. The Pataliputra located in present day Bihar in India. So Buddhism originate from the eastern Indian part that spread to the different direction through the intersecting point of the Silk routes. Also he able to found that the Christian missionary and Muslim priests, they also used the Silk route to reach Asia. So in this way the trade and culture played an important role. Additional information के पता करेंगे तो Ashoka sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra एक प्लेस को सेंड किया that is called श्रीलंका to preach the Buddhism, and also they established different kinds of sangha during their particular time period. During the time of pre-modern world, as we know, people move with the various kinds of goods, services. It means that they are the traveler. So definitely the traveler depend upon the various kinds of food. So if you look the noodles originate from the China. When these noodles spread to the various parts, it becomes called sapagati in the area of Italy or Sicily, the island in Italy. So many of our common foods like the potato, soya, groundnut, maize, tomato, these were not known to our ancestors. But during the time period of America's invention by the Columbus, that gave the knowledge about this type of food like potato, soya, groundnut, maize and tomato. So अमेरिका का जो डिस्कवरी है ये थोड़ा क्वाइट अजब टाइप का था. क्योंकि जो अमेरिका का डिस्कवर किया गया था वो एक इटालियन एक्सप्लोरर मीन्स कोलंबस ने शुरू किया था। उसमें क्या हुआ है, उनको स्पॉन्सर किया था स्पेन, एंड ही मूव्ड इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द वेस्ट टू develop the area of Asia, to indicate the area of Asia. But while he's gone through the three ships named as Nina, Pinta, and the Santa Maria, on finally October 1492, Columbus and his crew member reached a place called Bahamas. That place is also called in the later time period New World of America. बट देर एक्चुअल पॉइंट क्या था ना, उनको एशिया डिस्कवर करना था। लेकिन फाइनली ड्यूरिंग द टाइम पीरियड ऑफ 1492 एक जो प्लेस डिस्कवर हुआ दैट इज नोन एज द फाइनली डिस्कवरी ऑफ अमेरिका। As we know, the food moved from one place to another place, but another thing that create a very demonstrative effect, negative effect for the food, that is the Great Irish Potato Famine of 1840s middle part. This Irish potato famine caused by the potato through a pathogen. एक pathogen क्या होता है? It is a bacteria, or it is a virus, or it is a microorganism that can cause various kinds of disease. So through this particular pathogen named as the Pythothora infestans, ये पोटैटो के रूट में आके क्या किया, इट स्प्रेड एज ए डिजीज। सो जो पोटैटो के ऊपर डिपेंड था, जो इनका लाइफ और डेथ ऑफ द पोर इन द यूरोप, क्योंकि उनका खाने में पोटैटो इज ए वेरी कॉमन फूड हो गया था, दे राइट नाउ फेस डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ डिजीज, एंड एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ that potato, when a disease destroyed the potato crop in the mid 1840s, the people who depend upon the poor people, depend upon the potato for eat better and live longer, they right now face different kinds of problems. So this is originated in the Andes mountain of South America, not in the island area. So this is very very important or crucial question, that is Irish potato famine, means famine because of the food. Next part to discuss is how did trade, conquest and natural calamity help in the interconnecting of the world. So as you know, the discovery of new trade sea route, basically it also busted with trade, goods, people, knowledge, custom or culture different thing. So during that particular time period, you know, India and the China, they are having world great market during that particular time because of the spices, because of the different kinds of pottery, because of the textiles in the world class market. But the traders and travelers started transferring the rich resources of America to everywhere. How? Because America vast land, minerals, crops played a vital role in the developing trade and changing the life from the 16th century onwards. How? Because European wealth that increased and its trade with Asia was financed with the help of precious metals like silver from the mines of Mexico and Peru. So right now the European countries got the importance rather than India and the China, means Asian country. Right now the market shifting towards the European countries, and many expeditions set up during that time. El Dorado. El Dorado is a city in the South America. It known as the fabled as the city of the gold, or El Dorado, the city of gold, gets the importance. How or why? Because America's long isolation. Let's move to the topic America's long isolation. America's long isolation meant America's original inhabitants had no immunity against the disease that came up from the Europe. That you know, the disease name is Irish potatoes famine, the cause through the bacterium, virus or microorganisms, that is your basically here called Pythopothra infestans. So यहाँ पे जो आया वहाँ पे क्या हुआ, in the later time period smallpox in particular proved and deadly killer in this area of the America. So it spread deep in the continent ahead event of any European reaching there. So it killed and decimated whole communities, paving the way to conquest. So यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, ये मिड 16th सेंचुरी में पोर्तुगल एंड स्पेन ये डोमिनेटिंग कंट्री रहा विथ स्ट्रॉन्ग फायर पावर एंड आर्मी. सो उनका जो कन्क्वेस्ट था एज वेल एज कॉलोनाइजेशन था, अमेरिका वाज इन प्रोग्रेस. पावरफुल वेपन यूज किया स्पेन. कॉन्क्यूर टू कॉलोनाइज वाज द जर्म्स ऑफ द स्मॉल पॉक्स कैरिड ऑन देयर पर्सन्स. सो फाइनली क्या हुआ, द स्प्रेड ऑफ स्मॉल पॉक्स proved fatal to the America's native community as America's original inhabitants due to long years of isolation lacked in the immunity power. तो आइसोलेशन में रहने के कारण इनका इम्यूनिटी पावर उतना ज़्यादा नहीं था. सो ये जो यूरोप से आया था स्मॉल पॉक्स, इट किल्ड द सेवरल ओरिजिनल अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी लीडिंग टू द कन्क्वेस्ट ऑफ इट्स बाय द यूरोपियन पावर. तो यूरोप में क्या हो गया, द पॉवर्टी एंड हंगर आर कॉमन इन द यूरोप अंटिल द 19th सेंचुरी. बट यूरोपियन सिटीज आर क्राउडेड, डिजीज आर रैम्पंट. उसी पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे धार्मिक रूप से कन्फ्लिक्ट भी कॉमन हो गया था. डिसोसेंट्स और प्रोसिक्यूटेड, मतलब कोई बिलीव करता तो डायरेक्टली प्रपोज कर देता था. तो वहाँ पे क्या हुआ, 18th सेंचुरी में स्लेव कैप्चर फ्रॉम अफ्रीका आर ग्रोइंग कॉटन सुगर इन द अमेरिकन प्लांटेशन फॉर यूरोपियन मार्केट्स. सो इंडिया एंड चाइना जो एमंग द वर्ल्ड रिचेस्ट नेशन अनटिल वेल इनटू द 18th सेंचुरी, चाइना ने अभी क्या किया, रिड्यूस कर दिया अपना रोल एंड राइजिंग द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ अमेरिका ग्रेजुअली मूव्ड. सो द सेंटर ऑफ वर्ल्ड ट्रेड वेस्टवर्ड्स, पहले क्या था, ईस्टवर्ड्स था, चाइना और इंडिया के पास था. अब क्या हो गया, वेस्टवर्ड्स हो गया. सो राइट नाउ द यूरोप emerged as the center of the world trade center. So what we learned? We learned that due to various reasons, due to various effects, the world's globalization is a process. It may move from one country to another country as a powerful weapon, but globalization is finally the process that is the interconnection and interlinking of one countries with the rest of the world. So in this chapter we learned about Silk Route, we learned about the food as a travel, how the culture played an important role, discovery of America. Also we learned about the illicit potato famine, discovery of new sea trade route, colonization of America through the smallpox, and Europe becoming the center of world trade. That's all. Thank you. Have a nice day.